Delivery, delivery, delivery. If you had asked QSRs 3 years ago what they thought of what is probably the biggest disruption to the dining industry in our lifetimes, they would have said, well, we have to learn to live with them, but they really are margin killers. It drove a lot of QSRs up the wall. This past year, they became a lifeline. Everybody needed them, and everybody suddenly put delivery at the center of what they were doing. What we wanted to do here in our next panel is to check in. We've had 3 or 4 years of experience with this channel, this new layer of third-party delivery systems, but also figuring out how best to leverage it, how to use them as real marketing opportunities. To take the lead on this, we're bringing in our old buddy, longtime senior editor at MediaPost, Tanya Gazdik. Tanya.
Hey, Steve, how's it going?
How you doing? And Tanya, MediaPost, we really are in the four corners of this continent. Where are you piping in from?
I am in suddenly chilly Detroit, which is why I'm wearing long sleeves today. It went back down to 60 degrees overnight. I don't know what's going on, so it's freezing.
Well, thanks for doing this for us. I know you've got a great panel lined up, and this is just the hottest topic of all, so I'm going to shut up and let much smarter people take over.
Well, thank you, Steve, and that's very kind, but I think I was actually chosen to moderate this panel because I get food delivered a lot, and I know all of the third-party vendors extremely well, and they definitely know me because I'm inundated with deals from all of them daily. So from a brand standpoint, though, it's a critical part of the customer experience and not always within the control of the brand. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today. So I want to welcome my three panelists. I think we are all on board here. And are we still getting folks on board? There's Stephanie, there's Ryan, and there's Andy. Awesome. Steph, I'm sorry, not Stephanie. Only your mom calls you Stephanie, I'm told. So that's cool. I understand that. So I wanted to have each of you start with a brief introduction and then maybe talk for a couple minutes about what your current delivery marketing strategies look like now and how they've changed over the last year. So why don't we start with Ryan Murrin. I know you recently got promoted to CMO. Congratulations. And you were at Chipotle for a good long time before you were at Pancheros. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what's working for your company now regarding delivery? I know you guys recently relaunched the mobile app and built in a new customer experience process and team, correct?
Yeah, definitely. We started back in 2018, kind of reimagining what that experience would look like. But like you said, I'm from Pancheros. We're a 70-unit fast casual burrito joint. We've got restaurants all over the Midwest and some on the East Coast. We're a small but mighty team. So we've got 3 people in marketing and 2 in customer service. And as Tanya had mentioned, I came from Chipotle. I've been with Pancheros for 3 years. And as I started, we were looking at how to really re-engage people into the app and the loyalty program, and delivery was key to that. We wanted to make the app as relevant and useful as possible, and really earn that place on people's phones and continue earning that. And so we actually launched delivery back in May of 2019 as white label first. We then launched third party in January of 2020. Fortunately, right before COVID hit, and it was a lifeline. It was a lifeline for us as we went through COVID. But really, what's been working for us has been really digging into and improving the delivery experience and digging into the numbers, collaborating with our partners. So we collaborate a lot with our DoorDash partner, who is our preferred delivery service provider through the app. We've gotten a lot of insights, a lot of support from them. We shamelessly ask them for marketing support almost every call. The other thing that we have found really successful is, along with DoorDash, is really digging into the numbers. So prior to COVID, our business, the percent of digital was very different than where we ended up in late March, April into May of 2020. And our settings for online ordering were very different then. And so we've had to monitor individually how restaurants are fulfilling orders, what they can handle, changing that on the fly as things change, as restrictions change throughout the year in 2020. And then looking at key metrics like drop-off time, pickup time, and order assignment time, so that we could really dig into each individual restaurant and look at where we can improve the experience. And then we've partnered a ton with our operations and franchise owners. We have a team that embraced overall satisfaction survey that we did. We launched way before the app update. They really lean into it. And so they've been super helpful in giving us feedback on what to improve, which kind of led to the settings and make time minute changes. And then the other thing that we've done is just built delivery into every aspect of our marketing. We don't consider it as a separate channel that we're trying to promote. It's part of our brand campaign. We use it strategically, so trying to build it in certain times of the year, and we use promo strategically to build adoption too.
Excellent. Well, that's interesting. And I appreciate your background, because you've been with Mexican restaurants for most of your career. So I think you know that category extremely well. But next up is actually Andy Rebhun, who is the Vice President of Digital at El Pollo Loco. I've been practicing how to say that. I hope I didn't mess it up too badly.
You did perfect. You did
perfect. Good. I was nervous. I was actually a little nervous about that. So I've been reading about your company's expansion plans. Unfortunately, we don't have you in Detroit yet. Maybe someday. And it seems like a really interesting and exciting time to be there. So could you tell us a little bit more about yourself and what's working for you guys? I know you guys you started offering GPS-enabled curbside pickup. GPS enabled, which is interesting. So do your delivery folks use that when they pick up orders, or is that just for customers?
Well, first off, Tanya, thank you and the MediaPost team for having us. Really appreciate that you considered El Pollo Loco to be a part of the summit today. So again, my name's Andy Rebhun. I started my career at Ford Motor Company, went from Mustangs to McNuggets, had a 6-year stint at McDonald's, and I've been with El Pollo Loco for the last year and a half. And it's been a really exciting year and a half to be a part of the brand. We're doing a ton of digital transformation. And as you previously mentioned, the curbside experience is huge. It's an absolute huge part of the way that we're going to market in the future. A lot of that is obviously thinking with customer first. We launched it way ahead of schedule, but I think a lot of the reason we were able to do it was because the team was so talented, incredibly cross-functional and collaborative. And what's unique about ours is, you get within 1,000 feet of the restaurant and it immediately cues the restaurant teams that, hey, Tanya's there. Let's call it Royal Oak, Michigan, because that's where I used to live when I lived in Detroit, with the order at the El Pollo Loco location. And the food's brought out to you in about 90 seconds. And our ops team has done an incredible job to make sure that our customers continue to experience our products safely. And we're really proud of the way that we've gone to market with digital. Like Ryan mentioned, delivery is a cornerstone of all our milestone events throughout the year now. It's not just its own element. It's weaved into our entire marketing calendar. And I think as the restaurant industry continues to open back up again, I think delivery's here to stay, and it's going to be a cornerstone of everything that we do moving forward.
Interesting. Well, come to Detroit, because that 90 seconds sounds amazing. I don't know if anybody can beat that, actually. That's pretty incredible.
Especially in those winters. So I'm ready.
Gosh. Yeah. I never want to leave my car in the winter in Detroit. So, well, next up we have Steph So, who is the VP of Digital Experience at Shake Shack, which we do have here in Detroit. And it was like a holiday when you guys opened in Detroit. Everybody just went crazy, and the lines, I think the lines are still kind of crazy down there. So I know you have a really interesting background in fashion and beauty, including another great brand, Ralph Lauren, and you switched over to QSR literally right before the pandemic began. So what timing? How has that been for you?
Yeah, I mean, I love sharing my background, and thank you so much for having me, Tanya and MediaPost. It's fun to kind of talk about digital in a different context. Yeah, my career has always been in digital and in marketing. You know, started out in fashion and beauty, and I actually had a short stint in the fertility space right before Shake Shack. So my kind of background has always been around finding that digital guest. And interestingly, across all those products, the guest is actually the same. So whether he or she is eating Shake Shack, thinking about building a family, buying new pants or buying new makeup, it's actually all of us. And I think the way we market and kind of engage on a digital level is what brings us all together. So it's interesting, when I stepped into the role at Shake Shack, I've been a longtime fan. Was probably born with a burger in my hand, and you know, kind of coming to a brand like Shake Shack where the burger is kind of our icon, it really all came together for me in a lot of ways. So, you know, came here really when the digital transformation was this kind of long roadmap. We had grand plans of like, let's move from a 20% digital business to a 40% digital business. That would be great. And then COVID really got us to an 80% digital business overnight. So, you know, these guys know it just as well. It's been a wild year and a half. But delivery's been a big part of that strategy, actually. So when I joined Shake Shack, we were toying with this idea that we could choose one third-party partner as our exclusive nationwide partner. So we actually were like, you know, dating exclusively Grubhub, and we were in, you know, an agreement that was going to have us turn off all other partners nationwide and really just focus on that one partner. As soon as COVID hit, we realized that we would need to really expand. There was kind of, you know, no more exclusivity, to be honest, and we brought on Uber Eats and Postmates, Caviar, DoorDash, everyone kind of in that moment. And, you know, opposite of the way Ryan did it, we were kind of chasing the white label solution. We were really quickly trying to get our own native delivery on our app. So really for the whole first half of the pandemic, we were a bit reliant on our third-party partners to drive traffic, to deliver our food, to get to our guest. And it was really in January, you know, through the first quarter of this year that we were able to launch delivery in the Shack app. So now we're kind of in this moment of balancing our own delivery product, how we work with third parties, and, you know, planning the year of marketing events so that we're using each channel kind of to its best of its ability and also to its strengths. So, you know, we often say that we view our delivery service partners as big microphones for the brand. And then we want our native delivery experience to be that key LTV building initiative so that you can always have delivery, you can always engage with us on our own channels. You don't have to leave our, you know, Shake Shack ecosystem if you don't want to leave your house. So that's been a really interesting and quick evolution for us on the delivery story.
Well, I think the third-party vendors were doing a pretty good job for you, or you had to deal with them, because every time I opened up Uber Eats or DoorDash, I think I was getting an ad for Shake Shack saying Shake Shack now available. So I guess that worked pretty well for you guys. So, you know, in that same sort of area, what is working best in leveraging the delivery partners in-app opportunities? And are you guys able to cut better deals with them? And do you have preferred partners? I think, Ryan, you said DoorDash is who you guys usually try to work with. So why don't we start with you?
DoorDash is our preferred partner delivering through the app. They've been great. They do very well against our footprint, you know, across the Midwest and the East Coast. You know, really what's been working well for us, and it's a little bit based on our goals right now, and it's really driving delivery through our own channels. You know, we get that data, we have that relationship with the customer, we understand, you know, what they're ordering, when they're ordering, it's actionable. And so we focused a lot on driving delivery through that own channel, the white label. We have tested some marketing within other channels, and it's challenging, right? Like our basket size makes it so that, you know, it's not as profitable as like a steakhouse, you know, delivering for a DoorDash. So we're still testing some of the marketing components within third-party delivery, but our focus has really been on driving it through our own channels.
Well, actually, we just got a question from the audience. I'm going to probably wait on the questions till the end for the most part, but this one is actually relevant to what we're talking about, and it's for you, Steph. Do you actually, well, here we go. Do you guys have, for your in-app experience, do you partner with only one partner or do you bid it out? And this is from Tiffany Waddell. And from now on, I'm going to wait for the questions till the end, but this one just seemed relevant. So
yeah, no, it's a good question. We built a direct connection with Uber Eats as part of our native. So it's interesting, these guys are using DoorDash, and it was very much a question of who could match our footprint. So we tend to be highly urban. Uber Eats really, works well in terms of their courier coverage on an urban basis. And then, we liked their integration. It was a very interesting process of deciding who to work with. Again, we were hoping to get a partner with scale where we could drive the cost of each delivery to a flat rate that we were comfortable with. So we were kind of trying to leverage their scale and a little bit of our footprint to get a deal that we were comfortable with, because delivery economics are challenging. Everybody knows, like, it's not really the most profitable channel for any restaurant. So we wanted to make it as profitable as we could coming out of our own channel. So yes, exclusively with Uber Eats in the Shack app.
okay. And Andy, what about you guys? Do you guys have preferred partners?
We do. We were with Postmates up until the end of last year, and this year we have launched with DoorDash. It's been a great partnership thus far. And I think similar to what Steph and Ryan said, we're really trying to grow our native channel. It's really about owning the data. And as we kind of move into a cookieless future, being able to harbor that zero party and first party data is going to be paramount to a lot of our brand success. So I would say that the marketplace experience is kind of like a shopping mall, right? You have every single restaurant under the sun trying to bid for your business. And a lot of it is done via either some sort of marketing promotion. Some brands choose to have a banner in the app. Some brands choose to run promotions. Ultimately, we know that we need to be a part of that space. But I think what's very important is we're just trying to grow our own channel, let customers know that obviously they get the benefits of our loyalty program. They get the benefits of utilizing coupons. And most brands typically charge a markup for marketplace, and we don't have that markup currently on our El Pollo Loco app and elpolloloco.com.
Well, you mentioned cookies, and I know that was something we talked about in our prep call, and I think Stephanie brought that up as far as data collection and how having customers order in app is so much preferable, or not, in your own brand app rather than in the delivery app. So Stephanie, did you want to talk a little bit about that as far as the data collection goes?
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what Andrew's saying. It's basically if we can kind of track that guest across different types of transactions. So I actually kind of want to know, the same guest is coming and ordering through our app for pickup, or maybe they're doing a curbside experience, and maybe every other month they're doing delivery. Super helpful for us to understand that guest behavior, especially as we go to a cookieless world. Because I think, we're doing a lot of experimentation with other channels outside of Facebook, knowing that this change is happening. So for sure, there's a lot of other ways we can try to reach the guest, but ultimately, if we really want to build frequency, having delivery in our ecosystem was an important missing piece, because I think now we can say, listen, the digital experience at Shake Shack is really however you want to experience it. And we've had an interesting time actually watching guests that have been in our ecosystem for quite some time and kind of seeing their delivery behavior. We weren't able to see that before. So it's super interesting to see how many guests actually, are choosing delivery. And we were watching as we launched the product, our conversion rate in the app go way up. So that's also, super exciting to see, because it basically means all those times I didn't have delivery in the app, perhaps that guest was leaving our channel to go somewhere else to a third party to finish their transaction.
Interesting. So even if they order in the app and you guys offer a huge discount or something free, there's still a lot of advantages, for all of you for having the customers order in the apps, correct? In your apps rather than in the delivery apps. Ryan or Andy, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, very much so. I mean, it's, when they come through our ecosystem, if we see their behavior, we see what they do. We've built within our loyalty program, triggered campaigns based on customer life cycle that allows us to parse out people who are, new customers or new to delivery and action against that. So it's super valuable for us. And on top of the customer data, it's just a far better margin than working through the marketplace.
Andy, anything you want to add?
I think the only other thing that I would say advantage marketplace delivery is they've also introduced their passes, Dash Pass, Uber Eats Unlimited, and I would say that's a bit of an advantage to them because given the fact that you can source and order from so many different restaurant chains, those individuals who are participating in marketplace, they tend to order more, they tend to order more frequently. And it's one of the things that we're slightly, I remember you told us in the prep calls, it's one of the things we're slightly disadvantaged with, right? Because obviously I'd love for guests to order El Pollo Loco 30 days out of the month, but realistically that's unrealistic. So I think that's one area where I'd say the marketplace providers have done a great job growing that share. Some of them have offers with like Chase Sapphires with DoorDash. Uber Eats has something with American Express. And so it's just given customers another benefit in essence to really experience those marketplace environments.
Yeah, I get the $15 every month from my American Express Platinum. So it's like the first order of the month is always Uber Eats because
exactly.
Why would I not do that? That would just be throwing money out the window, which who wants to do that? So I'm curious if delivery has started to ease up for you guys now that, you know, with the new CDC guidelines, people are starting to go back out to restaurants. Andy, I know I saw a report where you said since the pandemic began that your company has seen online ordering and delivery triple, which is just amazing to me. And I'm sure that's probably been the case with everybody. So how did you guys handle that? And what are you seeing now? Is it, I think you said there's like kind of a normal easing off at this time of year anyway?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think the biggest piece of the puzzle is our ops team just really kicked it into high gear. They do a phenomenal job. And I think what was really impressive was this is a different avenue for us, right? We were doing a fair amount of delivery, but to triple it, you really kind of have to change procedures a little bit. We introduced a brand new tamper-proof bag. We had an exclusive agreement with Postmates, free delivery for however long is necessary from April of 2020 to the end of the year. And, you know, the biggest piece, and I mentioned this in the intro, was, you know, we want delivery to be a cornerstone of every single time we go to market. We've seen a little bit of normalization, but I'd say we're still up about 250% versus our pre-pandemic numbers. So we're very pleased with where we're at. I think, you know, obviously it's about the consistency, the accuracy, the quality of the food. Those are all really important parts of the experience when you do delivery. And I think our team at the restaurant level has just done an incredible job to make sure that they're mirroring the type of experience you get when you utilize either pickup or eat in restaurant, and couldn't be more proud of our team.
Ryan or Steph, do either of you want to add anything?
Yeah, I mean, just like Andy said, it's a cornerstone of how, you know, customers expect to interact with us. It has eased off a little bit. Some of that is just seasonality that's coming. Some of it is, you know, we've got a strong footprint in the Midwest, and then a strong footprint in the Northeast, and the CDC guidelines and local requirements were very different going through 2020. And so we saw these kind of ebbs and flows of digital business happening in different areas of the country. And now it seems like everything's kind of opening back up. We're seeing more people come back into the restaurants, and we're seeing kind of a gradual easing of just overall digital business, but kind of the same level for delivery as well.
So this is going to actually be my last question. So audience members, put your thinking caps on. If you've got anything you want to ask these brilliant people, they're ready, willing, and able to answer it. So my last question is just, you know, are there any new trends that you're seeing? And do you have any thoughts about ghost kitchens? I know that's something I've been seeing a little bit about, you know, and I know some of the brands are kind of messing with that and for delivery. And it's interesting to me that you would want to have two kitchens going on in the same place. But are there any other trends that you would want to talk about?
Well, I'll take the trends one because I think what's kind of interesting to see is you'll see a lot more marketplace services trying to batch orders, trying to figure out how they can get more efficient. So, what it means is right now Uber Eats will offer you, hey, pay $1.50 more and we'll give you priority, which basically means your courier is only going to bring your food to you. Your courier is not going to stop at CVS, not going to stop and deliver another order. It's kind of a one-way thing. So I think it's going to be a really interesting trend to see if service levels for delivery stay as high as they've been, as those big companies, they're all trying to search for the holy grail of profitability. They want to deliver your groceries and your, prescriptions and your dinner. So I think that's a trend I'm really interested in watching, because I think ultimately that could be something that actually advantages a native delivery experience at the end of the day, if we can be like singularly focused on just our product and our food going directly to the guest. So that's one that's fun.
That's interesting. I always toy with whether I want to spend the extra $1.50 for the priority delivery. Sometimes I don't want priority. It's like I'm on the treadmill and I want to finish my workout. So no, deliver mine last. It's fine. Ryan, what about you? Do you have any trends?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now we're considering and in the process of onboarding Google Food ordering. I think that's going to be kind of the next big channel that comes. I think you're going to see more brands passing on more costs to guests and seeing what that looks like, what conversions look like in those third-party channels. So definitely, I'm excited for Google food ordering.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a new one. So Andy, what about you guys?
I think Ghost is huge, and I think virtual restaurant is huge. I mean, you look at a couple of brands like Chili's, it's wings, or hey, Chuck E. Cheese introduced this brand called Pasquale's Pizza, and you didn't actually know you were ordering from Chuck E. Cheese. I think the ability for brands to have extensions where they can deliver their product in an interesting, unique fashion, to have a sub-brand and really do a nice job of introducing their product to a wider net of consumers has been a trend that a lot of brands capitalize on during the pandemic. I don't think it's going away. I think it's a really great way for brands to experiment to see if there's a product or a specific concept that works really well in tangent with what they're trying to do at their restaurants.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys. And I think my colleague Lisa is going to handle the Q&A portion. Lisa, do we have some questions?
Yes, we do. Actually, so Milan, she is asking if you are exploring, it's sort of, this is adding on to what you were just talking about, Andy, bundling any opportunities, like, maybe dinner and a movie or something with movies. Is there anything that you're trying to work on with that or seeing in the future?
I think there's always opportunities for partnerships. I mean, I think what we really look to achieve is it doesn't make sense for both brands. We had an opportunity to partner with a couple of brands recently, specifically Cinco de Mayo, partnering with Tapatio. There's certain instances where there could be a brand that lends a lot of oomph to your brand and it just kind of allows it to blow it out of proportion. But I think we're always looking for ways that can help us integrate into the narrative. And I think movies are great. I think it just needs to make sense for both brands and see how both of the brands can benefit from something like that.
Ryan or
Yeah,
Steph?
we had a fun experience with that. Like just a few months ago for Valentine's Day, we did a DoorDash promotion where we brought you a Boys to Men concert on Valentine's Day along with a Shake Shack delivery, and that was just like so super fun. And it just like still felt like kind of COVID correct in that, what do you really do for Valentine's Day when we're all still a bit locked up at home? So it was kind of, we love that idea of bringing content and food to the guests. So, just like Andy's saying, when the brand feels right or the partnership feels right to us, you kind of know it when you see it, but lots of fun things you can do with that.
Ryan, anything?
Yeah, so we're not so focused on partnerships at this point, more tapping into those moments, like people watching movies together on a Friday night, to design messaging and promotional campaigns and things like that to drive digital sales, delivery, et cetera.
Well, and this I'm actually, because I remember before COVID, the last QSR that we were live, and we had a panel on third party deliveries, and it was more of this dreaded kind of thing, losing, the data, losing the customers. And now, of course, it's been embraced much more so. But still, what is most effective in terms of trying to convert those third-party customers to your app? What type of incentives are you using? What's working the best?
I think it's really communicating the brand's inherent benefits. I think what is really challenging, that I mentioned this earlier, is this whole notion of the passes. That's where it's something that we have a really hard time competing with, unless you choose to invest in a mechanism like that. I would say it's probably going to be unprofitable, but who knows? But I think the biggest piece is just kind of just sharing your overall brand benefits. I think it's the consistency, it's the ability to earn points, it's the ability to use coupons. There's a number of times where you're not able to utilize a lot of coupons when you order from Marketplace. And I think, you have the ability to deliver everything that your brand promises and your brand chooses to deliver when they order from you in your own app experience.
Yeah, I would agree exactly with Andy. We've tried to convert people using, receipt messaging, bag stuffers, things like that, go into third-party orders. And, communicating again that you get points when you order through us. It's always attractive to order through us, more attractive to order through us than a third-party channel.
Yeah, and I think it's occasions as well. Like, I think you may not always hit we find that Marketplace is really crushing it when it comes to Friday night, I don't want to cook dinner, so I'm going to open a delivery app and kind of decide in the app what I'm going to order tonight. But our native experience does really well when it's like, it's Friday and it's my Shake Shack day. Like, that ends up being, where we win. So we try to really lean into that in all of our messaging. And we have this theory that with the digital experience that we're creating in the app, like, we believe our food looks better when you look at it in our app versus in a third party. And I think that's probably true for these guys as well. So we're just trying to really play that up as much as possible, that building a content rich experience so that you just kind of feel like you're getting that full brand experience when you order delivery through our app versus kind of the more tactical, reorder the thing I did last week, which is probably what that Marketplace app is better for.
Well, thank you so much, guys. This was really great. Tanya, of course, as always, and Andy, Steph, and Ryan, you guys had a lot of great information there. So we appreciate you being here with us.
Thank you again for having us.